Okay, this is part two. Started off where I left. So I proceeded to speak further unto her and said, "Do not so, but be counseled by me. For how many are the adversaries? For how many are the adversities of Sion? Be conformed in regard of the sorrow of Jerusalem, or be comforted in regard to the sorrow of Jerusalem. For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, our temples destroyed. Our psaltery is laid on the ground, our song is put to silence. Our rejoicing is at an end, the light of our candlestick is put out. The ark of our covenant is spoiled, our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is almost profaned. Our children are put to shame, our priests are burnt, our Levites are gone into captivity. Our virgins are defiled, and our wives ravished. Our righteous men carried away, our little ones destroyed. Our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Sion has now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And therefore shake off thy great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto thee again, and the highest shall give thee rest and ease from thy labor. And it came to pass, while I was talking with her, behold, her face upon a sudden shine exceedingly, and her countenance glistered, so that I was afraid of her, and mused what it might be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. But there was a city builded, a large place showed itself from the foundations. Then was I afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is Uriel, the angel, which came unto me at the first? For he has caused me to fall into many trances, and mine end is turned into corruption, and my prayer to rebuke. And I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me, and looked upon me. And lo, I lay as one had been dead, and mine understanding was taken from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me upon my feet, and said unto me, What aileth thee? And why art thou so disquieted? And why is thine understanding troubled in the thoughts of thine heart? And I said, Because thou hast forsaken me. And yet I did according to thy words, and I went into the field, and lo, I have seen, and yet see, that I am not able to express. And he said unto me, Stand up manfully. And he said unto me, Stand up manfully, and I will advise you. You got to stand up as a man and be a man. Then said I, Speak on, my master, in me, only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate in my hope. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? Now therefore I beseech thee, that thou would show thy servant of this vision. And he answered me then, and said, Hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. He has seen that thy way is right, for that thou sowest continually for thy people, and maketh great lamentations for Sion. This therefore is the meaning of the vision which thou lately sawest. Thou sawest the woman mourning, and thou beginnest to comfort her. Now seest thou the likeness of a woman no more, but there appeared unto thee a city builded. And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the solution. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion, Whereas she said unto thee, even she whom thou seest as a city builded. Whereas I say, she said unto thee, that she has been 30 years barren. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made unto her. But after 30 years, Solomon builded a city and offered offerings, and then bare the barren a son. And whereas she told thee that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. But whereas she said unto thee that my son cometh into his marriage chamber, happened to have a fell and died, this was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beginnest to comfort her. And these things which have changed, these are to be opened unto thee. For now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved unfeignedly, and suffered from thy whole heart for her, so that he showeth thee the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. And therefore I bade thee remain in the field where no house was builded, for I knew that the highest would show this unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show thee, there can no man there can no man's building be able to stand. And the thought that came to me when I read that was, he's Abba, we call him the highest. I mean, you can't get no higher than him. He's calling his people out of these buildings made with hands, made with governments, made with contracts and agreements. And he's sending us to a place, the new Jerusalem, not made with hands. And I was reading earlier, and I have to read it later. And you know, cause I'm not that familiar with the Apocrypha, but I do remember reading it. And the only way that you're gonna get there, you're gonna have to go through these dry places, because there's a narrow way to get there. And the only way you can get there is through the Spirit of Abba. To find that He can find you worthy. You can't earn it, but you have to go through the fire. You have to go through to get there. You have to go through it. And the only way you can get there is He has to handpick you and take you there. Take you there. Because no man knows how to get there. Earthly men knew no earthly things, and heavenly men know heavenly things. So how can you get to a place you've never been unless the one who knows about it sends his messenger to take you there? Okay. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. And therefore fear not, let not thine heart be affrighted, but go thy way in and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes be able to see. And then shalt thou hear, as much as thine ears may comprehend. For thou art blessed above many other, and art called with the highest. And so art but a few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shall the highest show thee visions of the high things, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell on the earth in the last days. So I slept that night, and another like as He commanded me. The Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras, chapter 11. Then I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, Greece spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together. And I beheld, and out of her feathers there grew other contrary feathers, and there became little feathers and small, but her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other, yet resisted it with the residue. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers and reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her, no, not one creature upon the earth. And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose up on her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not at all at once. Sleep every one in his own place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. And I numbered her contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there rose one feather, and reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it rained, the end of it came, and the place therefore appeared no more. So the next following stood up, and reigned, and had a great time. And it happened, that when it rained, the end of it became also like as the first, so that it appeared no more. Then came there a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long, this I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more, there shall none after thee attain any of thine time, neither unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and reigned as the other before, and appeared no more also. So went it with all the residue one after another, as that every one reigned, and then appeared no more. Then I beheld, and lo, in the process of time, the feathers that followed stood up on the right side, and let me read that again. Then I beheld, and lo, in process of time, the feathers that followed stood up upon the right side, that they might rule also, and some of them ruled, but within a while they appeared no more. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers. And there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also the 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side, for the 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wings thought to set up themselves and to have the rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awakened one of the heads that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads. And then I saw the 2 other heads were joined with it, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up on the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned. But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth, which much oppressed, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been. And after this I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. We move on to part 3.